in today's tutorial I want to inspire you again to make a faux dichroic pendant, and this is because you will find that there are so many beautiful nail art foils with so many interesting effects, iridescent effects, holographic effects, even slightly hypnotic effects, that you will surely want to give them a try. We are going to use diamond drills to beautifully decorate this frame. In order to make this beautiful piece, I have prepared black polymer clay that I have previously conditioned, and then I'm working with a piece of polymer clay passed through the setting number 2 of my Atlas pasta machine, and it's the right size for the round cutter, large round cutter that I intend to use to make the shape of the pendant. And I've also prepared 2 sheets of polymer clay that I passed through the largest setting of the pasta machine on top of the same wavy texture that I've been using for some of the previous tutorials. So I was trying to transfer beautiful and colorful nail art foils onto polymer clay, and as I said, not all of them would transfer or would easily transfer, but don't throw them away. You have other options to use them in your work. And I thought that even though I had some small bits of pink foil that have already transferred onto the polymer clay, I thought that this was going to be a trial piece, so it's okay. And then I ended up using the same type and colors for that I used for the faux Baroque pendant. And then I am going to sandwich the 3 layers of polymer clay one on top of the other. The first one, I will use the first one to make the back of the piece. I will put the piece with the transfer in the middle, and I will cover it partially with the third textured polymer clay piece. And you'll have to use parchment paper and gently press onto these 3 layers to connect them very well. And then I've used cling film. I've put cling film on top of the polymer clay, and I am going to use a large round cutter to cut out the shape of the pendant. And when using cling film to cut out the pieces that you want to have a beautiful domed effect, the cling film is a good idea. And of course you'll have to smooth off the edges. And for this piece I hesitated a little bit, but then I decided that I'm not going to make a veil using polymer clay, which you could. And if you have not seen my previous tutorial on how to make a beautiful veil for your pieces, I will put the link in the description. I am going to attach a beautiful metal connector piece, and in order to do so, I'm making a cutting into the piece in the middle of the upper part of the polymer clay pendant, and then using a little bit of liquid clay that I put on the metal component, I will just press this piece into the polymer clay. And I like the way the piece looks with this metal improvised veil. And then I decided to embellish this design with diamond painting drills. And if you have already tried diamond painting, you know that you have all these beautiful and colorful drills, and then normally you have more than enough. You have spare pieces, and I had some pieces laying around in my art studio, and I had this idea of trying them out with polymer clay, and I really love the way they embellish polymer clay pieces, and I hope you like this too. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that I have used a beautiful texture, wavy texture for let's say half of the pendant, and using a drill pen. This is called a drill pen. I'm pressing firmly, but I don't want to distort the shape of the piece, of course, but I'm pressing them firmly into the polymer clay. And in fact, this drill pen looks like a regular normal pen, but it has a hollow pointy end, and you put like a rubber type material, and this is very practical to collect such diamond drills, and you can use it also for tiny nail art rhinestones and decorations. It works great for those techniques as well. And initially I thought this was going to be my trial piece, so I did not try to glue them. I just wanted to see how they would stand the feet of the heat of the oven, because you know that you should be very careful with the things that you put into the oven, because plastic could melt into the oven. So you should try out to see how the pieces that the inclusions that you put into polymer clay, how they stand the heat. And I thought that I thought that this was going to be the trial piece, but for my final piece I would use liquid clay to glue these pieces. But then after baking this piece, so when trying to get these pieces out that I have firmly pressed into the clay, I noticed that they were very well stuck into the clay, and you don't really need to glue them with liquid clay. So when you are happy with the look of the piece, you'll just have to put it into the oven, in the preheated oven, and bake it for 45 minutes at the recommended temperature. I also recommend you to tend these pieces with nail art transfer to protect this transfer from direct heat, and I use a disposable baking pan to tend my pieces. I also bake my pieces on parchment paper because I'm making the front and the back of the piece in the same session. And if you don't put parchment paper underneath, you will get a glossy effect on the back of the pieces. And then I let the clay cool down, and I applied a layer of UV resin, and I'm using a brush to control the amount of resin that I put on top of the piece, because I don't want to put too much and have drippings. And for these faux dichroic pieces, I usually put I pass the brush on the margin of the piece, especially on the margin decorated with foils, to have this beautiful glass-like effect on the margin as well. But in this case, I will use a UV bucket lamp to cure the margin and the top of the piece for 1 minute, and then I would put the piece under my larger nail art UV lamp and cure it for 7 more minutes. So I hope that you like this idea of using nail art foils to make beautiful and holographic, colorful pendants, and also this technique of embellishing your pieces with diamond drills. Thank you for watching the tutorials. Please tell me what you think of this idea, and stay tuned for more inspiration for your work with polymer clay.